So we're getting towards the end of it now. 3 days are gone, 1 to go at the Cheltenham Festival, the Gold Cup day, and I've got Timeform's head of tipping alongside me, Simon Walker, to run through the card and hopefully pick out a few bets for us. And how's your festival gone so far, Simon?
Average.
Average.
At best.
Any standout performers so far, or any you've been impressed with?
Impressed with? I usually get impressed more when I've backed them, to be fair. And when I haven't backed very many winners, there's not been many standout performances so far. So there's room for improvement, yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, we'll jump straight into it. And it's we start off with the Triumph Hurdle, of course, on the Friday. Very interesting renewal, this. Plenty of nice types in here, and the market headed by Apple Shakira.
Yeah, it's a much smaller field than normal. You normally got double figures and plenty of no-hopers, and it's a bit different this time in that there's really only a couple of complete outsiders that you can stick a line through, so it's a pretty open-looking renewal. I think Mr. Adjudicator's probably a bit overpriced. He's not been quite as flash as a few of the others, Apple Shakira and Redachian, but his piece of form that he showed when he won at Leopardstown in February isn't far off that shown by the market leaders in this. He clocked a really good time that day, and it looks a bit bigger than he should be at sort of 8-9 to 1, I think.
Okay, so Mr. Adjudicator in the Triumph, and we'll move on to the finisher difficult county hurdle. 27 runners and a 10 to 1 favourite here in Louis Rouge.
Yeah, I mean, I've stuck a bit of a pin in one here. It's a real big price one. Brillard of Gordon Elliott's. I mean, we've seen over the last couple of days what a phenomenal yard that is. I mean, at the time we're talking now, I think him and Mullins are 6 apiece, and they're dominating the meeting. And this is a horse that you can make a case of sorts out for being a bit of a silly price, really. It's never had a crack in a handicap. It's been chasing this season and not been particularly successful. You would have expected him to have won a race over fences, and he hasn't done. But he's always given the impression that the end-to-end scenario of a large field handicap such as this would suit. He's quite a keen-going sort, and patient tactics are often the order of the day in the county hurdle. And I just think it's still a little bit of unfinished business about him. Some of his novice form from last season stands up pretty well off his current mark. He's got a tongue strap on for the first time, and he's fresh. There's a few angles there. I'm going to chance him at a massive price.
This is your long shot for the website. You've put up a nap, the next best, and a long shot on the microsite. At 50 to 1, would you go each way or a small?
I would, yeah. Each way, because there's enhanced place terms on races such as this anyway, so you can probably get first 5, maybe even first 6 with some fans.
Okay, so Brillard there, and into the Albert Barber, and this is wide open as well. 25 runners in this, and Santini is a 5 to 1 favourite.
Yeah, justifiable favourite. I think he has got the best chance. I mean, obviously his form defeating Black Op at the January meeting has been franked subsequently, and on both his starts, both at Newbury and Cheltenham, he's given the impression that 3 miles is what he wants. He's been really strong at the finish of 2.5 on both occasions, so you would expect him to improve again. The only issue I've got with him, he's sort of 9 to 2 fav really in an open race, and he hasn't shown form that's significantly in advance of anything else really. So I'm going to throw a couple of darts at Enniscoffey Oscar and Poetic Rhythm at big prices. They both give the impression that this race should suit. Enniscoffey Oscar has been steadily progressive and showed a good attitude last time, and Poetic Rhythm's been kept fresh for this and has long since given the impression that 3 miles in the mud will suit him down to the ground.
Okay, on to the feature of, the week, the Cheltenham Gold Cup, 18 heading to post here, but it's a really wide open renewal here, a few with a chance, but there's your nap in this. Yeah,
Native River, I've been keen on him for some considerable time. He's going to be, I would imagine, he'll be my last decent anti-post bet that'll still be running, I would imagine, by 3:30 tomorrow. And he's just tailor-made for it. I thought he ran a cracking race last season. The race was a bit of an afterthought after he'd been mopping up all those big handicaps, but this time he's been kept fresh. I know Tizard's not had many winners at Cheltenham this week, sorry, no winners at Cheltenham so far this week, but he's not had many that have had chances. By and large, the stable's going as well now as it has all season, which is a definite plus. Johnson's going to ride Native River to get the best out of it, i.e. pressing on a good way from home, try to run the finish out of them, and if there are any cracks in the others, he will find them, and I just think that you're going to get a damn good run for your money.
What's your position on Might Buy? He's bound to be popular tomorrow. Are you worried that there might be some more dramatics from him, or is it a concern that he might not get the trip?
It's the test of stamina that bothers me. Yeah, the 3.25 miles, he's got oodles of speed as that horse. And I know he was coming back from more in the RSA last year, but it's an extra 2 and a bit furlongs. The ground's appreciably more testing, and the likes of Johnson are going to be sorting them out from a good way from home. That's what concerns me.
Okay, so Native River in the Gold Cup, and the Amateur Gold Cup up next, the Fox Hunter Chase. Where would you go in a race like this? Would you be looking at the jockeys as much as the runners?
To some extent. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I've gone through every one of these with a fine-tooth comb, because I haven't. But I think Grand Vision looks like a pretty big price. He's running extremely well. He's back. He's knocking on these days, but as most of these are. But he's back in really good heart, and the form that he showed when winning a handicap at Wincanton last time is good enough to have him thereabouts in most renewals of the Fox Hunters. You would expect that the step back up in distance is going to suit. He's an easy ride, really, to be honest. He's a bold jumper, an enthusiastic type, and I'm a bit surprised he's upwards of 20 to 1.
20 to 1 there, Grand Vision. And into the Martin Pipe, David Pipe, we're hoping to win this. DSC de BF, I can't never pronounce the French ones. Is an 8 to 1 favourite. What's catching your eye here?
I'll take your word for that. Flawless Escape looks to have plenty going for it. Elliot's got 4 in this, and I wouldn't put anybody off backing any one of the 4, to be honest. He's got such a cracking record with these handicap hurdlers at the festival in recent seasons. But Flawless Escape comes from a race at Leopardstown last time out, which the Grand National favourite won, Total Recall. And Delta Work was in the frame in that, which has obviously won the Potemps this afternoon. Flawless Escape went really well for a long way in it. That was over 3 miles. Certainly the way he travelled through that suggested that the slight drop back in trip for this race tomorrow should be in his favour, and he's only had 3 runs over hurdles, so it's perfectly reasonable to think there's more to come from him. I thought he looked to have as good a chance as any.
Last but not least is the Grand Annual. 26 in here, and plenty will be looking for a get out of jail card. What would you suggest?
Each way on number 19, Bouvriel. He's not got a great win record, and he is a bit tricky. He carries his head a bit high and doesn't necessarily look the heartiest, but he's been placed in festival handicaps the last 2 seasons, and he's just dropped a little bit in the weights this time round. He hasn't been seen since December when he was hampered at Newbury, so he's been kept fresh for this, and I've long since thought that dropping him back to a well-run 2 miles would suit, hopefully coaxing him into it through the final half mile or so. And again, he's a pretty big price. You'd want the places on your side, and if you could get the enhanced place terms, then more the merrier. I thought he was worth a dart at, again, probably 16, 20 to 1 upwards, I think.
Brilliant, thank you very much, and here's hoping Native River wins the Gold Cup.
Cheers, Nick. Tats.